Alright, so this is fighting versus strap, shield, and sword by Dassureth. Alright, so we're going to be examining we're going to be doing three things. The big thing is going to be examining how a strap shield fighter stands off against you. Alright, and then we're going to see how we're going to identify openings that they already have without making the openings. And then we're going to tell you how to create openings or show you how to hit openings that aren't there visible to the eye. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we have one strap fighter here. So you can come up. Sam, can you fight against him real quick? Sure. Fight, so he's going to be stopped here. So right here, Sam. Just fight a couple. Doing these in guard 12 times. It's been a while. I'm having a low guard. Oh, I don't want hip shots. Yeah, okay. So be different against me. Go in the position that you were just at. Perfect. Okay. So, first thing we're going to be looking at, and it's pretty obvious to most people when you think about it, but not when you're going up against someone normally. You want to see if they're right-handed or left-handed. Yeah, that's an obvious thing when you think about it. But when you're going up against someone, it's not right away they realize, okay, they're left-handed. So that's one thing you should think about first thing. Before you even get into anywhere close to fighting range, you can see that he's right-handed. Alright? Obviously. Okay. And the second thing you're going to look at is his height. So compared to you, you're going to try to compare his height. So Logan's about the same height as me. If you're lower than him, alright, then you'll be able to see that he's taller than you. So you want to see how high he is, and that will determine where you're going to be swinging at most of the time. He may adjust accordingly depending on your height too. Alright, so that's the first thing. Again, is right or left-handed. The second one is his height. Okay, so, and then the third thing is you look at his stance. Is he fighting shield foot forward? Or is he fighting sword foot forward? Okay? Sword foot forward is more offensive. Shield foot forward is more defensive. Of course, there's variations of both, but in general, when people want to be more defensive, they'll have their shield forward, alright? So that's one thing you're going to be looking at, is which stance. And then you also look at his stance if his knees are bent. If they're bent forward, or weight on the front, he's likely to either take a step forward or a step sideways. But the weight that you see on his legs, it's harder to see with someone with baggy pants, but if you do see where he has his weight, if it's not even, he's likely to lift the leg that has less weight on it. So whether that's back or forward to attack. So in this situation, he's more likely to have more weight on the front in this stance because he's going to want to be able to block and attack. Hard to tell again with his stance that he uses. And then the last thing you want to see is his shield position. So go back to your stance. So right now, if I'm looking at him right now, I don't see much up here. He's covering his shoulders about right here. Yeah, it's about right here. So there's that much room. All right, so you're not going to get an easy shot at the shoulder. All right, and there's a good chance if he's higher up, then you might be able to see a little bit over here. You kind of see right here, which is like, yeah, leg and then a little bit of a twist in that. All right, and then You're gonna have to also look to see if he's straight up, if he's square to you, or if he's gonna be a little bit off to the side, depending on if he wants to attack. So right now he's pretty square, so he's basically on defense. All right. So I'm going to go on my shield. All right, and I'll show you my stance. So we don't have another sort of war fighter. All right. So we're going to go with stance, my stance like this. All right. So now you see my stance. There isn't too much up here. My shield is a little bit twisted up here, but that's just because I'm not as worried about my hip being my stance is forward. All right, so the first thing you look at me is that I'm right-handed. I'm using my right hand for my sword. All right, the second thing is you look at my height, depending on where you are. I'm a pretty average height, so I try to keep my shield in medium. You'll see taller fighters will likely keep their shield lower. And then shorter fighters will keep their shield higher. You'll likely see that depending on height. And then you look at my positioning. It's hard to tell with my gear on, but I'm even ground, but my right foot is forward. All right. So if I'm basically ready to attack, it opens up here a bit, but I have my sword here to block down if I need to. Okay. So you're going to be looking where the openings are. When someone is this way against you, there is more opportunity to hit this side. So against someone that's hitting lefty, there'll be more openings, all right? So that's where you got to see where the opening is here. And then you got to look at my shield. I don't know how much you see over here, but just look at the positioning based on if you can wrap or hit here, and if not, then you have to go on to the next part, which we're going to go into. So this is identifying openings, okay? So right now, you don't see that many openings. If you look at him, you'll see a little bit on this side, because he's got his sword pretty flat, so there's an opening here on this side. So if you are fighting flow, then you'd likely be able to hit his arm here unless he comes out to block. But that's one of the safe shots to look at. All right. Other than that, like I said, his shield is a little high from the looks of it. You might have an opening down here. One opening, and I'm talking to you guys as if you're going to be fighting in a tournament. I don't ever condone leg shots, okay? But in a tournament, you do what you need to do. His shield leg is forward, all right? Which is a big, big opening for shield fighters to get their legs chopped off. All right, so if you're fighting off against him, you have a same length sword, and you're looking at an easy shot, just chop his leg off, all right? He may be expecting, if he's baiting it, if not, whatever. But that's your closest target there, all right? For someone that's fighting the other way, if you do this, he's already in range to kill you. You don't want to be doing that, okay? So, yeah, okay, if you hit his leg here, he can't, you're not really in range, especially if you have another weapon to block his. If he's, go back the other way. If he's this way, you can block that sword. But if he's the other way, and you want to chop that leg, he's in kill range. He can kill you right here if he wants to. He can kill you anywhere. Because that's why his leg is forward, so he has more offense. So don't go and chopping someone's leg off in a tournament if they're in kill range of you, alright? If it's a safe shot, go the other way, then you can block that strike. Because he's not in kill range, he's not going to be able to kill you if you chop his leg off. Alright, so that's identifying openings there. The other one is, openings have to happen when you're fighting a sword and board fighter at some point. Even if he's in a really good defensive stance and you can't see an opening, if there's no opening, that means he's not attacking you, okay? So there's a reason why sword and board fighters get drilled patience, because there's defense in front of them. So if you can wait for an attack or try to zone out an attack, as soon as he attacks, attack, right? Look at that opening. So if he attacked this way, right? He's doing block, but he can do it again. And that arm is open. No matter what he does, by sticking his arm out, there's an opening. If he sticks his arm out and blocks it with, if he goes for, say, a hip shot this way, and then, well, that still opens up your arm. Yeah, okay, if you go to do the hip shot, right, that still opens it up. But if he goes to block it with his shield, this opens up over here, all right? If he moves that shield in any way to block his arm coming out, it opens up something else. So you got to identify what he's going to do. Is he going to save that arm? Is he going to strike and try to protect his arm? If he does, then something else open. Or if he strikes without protecting his arm, then his arm opens up. So that's how you identify what's open. A free leg that doesn't get you in kill shot, one that's coming out, because you have to be able, he has to be able to swing to kill you. To win, he has to kill you and not die. So he's going to want to swing at some point. That's an opening. And if he moves his shield at any point, that's another opening. And that's without you even moving. All right, so that's what we're going for. He's moving, those are the openings. Or if he's not moving, what openings you have, okay? Now, we're going to talk about creating openings. So we're going to, ways to create an opening against a sword and board fighter. So what people don't realize, and once you get better at wrap shots, there's openings where you may not see them if he doesn't move his shield and body. If he sticks there, I can hit him here. Alright? It doesn't look like it because a regular shot won't get him there. Even if I kind of reach, it won't get him there. Alright? But a flat wrap that I've taught people before, you guys don't know how to do a flat wrap, figure it out. There's a lot of videos I'll teach you how to do it. Alright? But a flat wrap to get the shoulder if he doesn't move. If he wants to block it, he'll open up that way. Which, if you're slow, will open up another shot. Right? Okay? So there's what we call opening, creating openings. So you add opening, and then you have this opening here. So he has a shield fairly high. I tend to see high shields as a great opportunity to hit someone in the butt. A nice butt pat. So wraps against side wrap, you guys know how to do it. All right, if you're doing flow, often sword and board fighters keep a lower guard against a flow fighter because they know that they're vulnerable over here, so they're going to want to block and strike. All right. So if you do want to create openings, you're going to want to move. All right, you got to move, sidestep to. Then try not to sidestep to this side, guys. This is the easiest side for a sword and board fighter to block. He'll block this all day as soon as if I'm stepping around this way, he'll block this all day. If I move this way, right, he's got to move his shield or block with this thing. And right there, he moved his shield. If I move this way, he blocks the shield, or there, everything opens up. So always move to his weak side. All right? So if you're playing flow, then you got to make sure that you block, because he may string at you. But by going this way, you already have the advantage that you're going to a strong side. So please, if you're going to sidestep to someone that's useful against a sword and board fighter. So, we also have, we taught it before, and I think Brendan did a video on this called the beat hit. So he has his regular stance of beat hit. If you're across or whatever, it's a hit to the top of the sword, and then strike down. Okay. So in quick motion, it looks like this. All right.
And if you don't get me there, I move this way to block.
Yeah.
And move the other sword.
Exactly. So if he does move his shield at any point, like I said before, he moves the shield, block, and there it is. Okay. If you're a sword and board fighter, you can still do this. All right. Or if you realize that you're going this way and wants to go there, you can come here. All right. Sword and board fighter, we're cross-footed now. Whatever. Go back to regular stance. So the beat hit is harder to do with someone that's over here. Don't try doing it if his sword is all the way back and you have to reach for it, okay? It's usually something when people have their sword foot forward. So again, when you see someone like this, turn that thing off. Tournament, don't do it when you're just mind itching, guys. It's not good practice. No one really wants to be on their knees.
Unless you want to make them sit in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be mean about it. That's fine.
You got padding
just
now?
laugh at him next time you do. Yeah. Sorry.
Next time you're wearing that armor.
Yeah, it's called the leg and leap. It's great.
Okay, the other one is people are used to counter shots. So you see that a lot in our park is counter shots. All right. So when someone's going here, we're trying to get that back arm. The counter shot is right there, right? Right, so, but if I don't go for that, if I go for right here, pretend that I'm going for it, he's going to think I'm doing it, counter it. Right? Now that he's countered it, because I was back far enough, I was able to either block it or him completely miss me, and then he opens up. So that's kind of a counter, I don't know what they call it. But it's basically baiting out a counter. Alright, so that's another way to get him to move, because chances are he's going to be waiting for counters or using footwork against you. Alright, so that's your 3 big points. As a bullfighter, chances are board is going to be your biggest scare. Okay? One nice thing I find about fighting against strap shield is stabbing. Stab right in the middle. I go to rush you, if I don't sidestep, you're pushing me back. Okay. Alright? And if you do it right when I'm like this and I go, yeah, exactly. You're just pushing me. Right? And then you want to then take it and take an easy shot. Right? And if I'm bending down a lot and doing it, you can still get it. Yeah. Use your big pole, big thick, to push me. Right? There's no reason for me to get close to you unless I do a really good sidestep. Okay. And chances are, if I'm rushing polearm, if a sword and board person is rushing a polearm properly, they're trying to catch you off guard. Okay? For you to be perfectly ready for a rush is not the ideal time for a sword and board fighter to be rushing. So always be ready. And if you do anything, like instead of being sitting there waiting, don't try not to do anything lethal, because that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for you to be completely out. So maybe just try what you want to try to do. Well, if you see me like this for a while, that's the easy shot. That's the easy shot. Yeah.
If I don't want to go for that.
Yeah, if you don't want to go for that, and I'm this way, don't do that. Okay, that's what I would call a lethal shot. That's a shot that I'm waiting for me to rush you. All right. Okay. So if I'm like this, just push. Right. Yeah, exactly. Push. Push it back until it feels like. And then what you want to see is enough of a push to catch him off his feet. So as soon as he either crosses his feet are like this, right, or his legs, always look at someone's legs as a pole fighter. It's really important. Okay. So you want to be, if you push me, one good push, no, not even like that, just one strike and straight. Yeah. And right there I was ready, okay? If I'm like this and doing it, right? So you have to, yeah, exactly. So just push, yeah, exactly. But of course I'm going to be trying to side step.
And then you're open.
Yeah. So again, how it came to watching legs. If you look at what leg has the weight on it, is which way I'm going to go. And like I said before, you want to be stabbing the way I'm going to likely go. Okay. So if I'm like this,
I want to stab here somewhere.
Exactly. If you want to push me, you want to stab there.
Okay.
All right. So I'm likely going to be shooting this way. Okay, you want to make sure you get a good push on it. If you need to, stab right at my sword arm if it's there.
Right in here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything you get a solid strike on somehow flat surface of this. If you notice that my shield is at an angle, then you may have to sidestep to hit me straight on, or else it'll slide right off. Okay? You need to get me moved for me to be unbalanced, and then you should have a free kill, or free shot somewhere to kill. Whether that's my leg, and then you can take me out when I'm on the ground. Alright? So the big difference now is you do have me on the ground, whatever. Okay, so now the leg shots are no longer a big deal.
Yeah.
Alright, so you got to be good at backstepping. Alright, because I'm going to likely sit here until I feel that something is bad. And I'm going to swipe it. Alright? And I feel your form, yeah, exactly. Whatever, you're in the tournament, you do what you usually do. Well, it shows it, as long as it's not against the rules. You do what you need to do. Alright? I had no wonder what you're doing, that's my headline.
Yeah.
Don't waste the swing if you don't need to. If it's doing something like this, fine. But don't swing at my leg.
I don't see any openings though.
That's fine, because my opening will be when I'm tired.
Oh, okay.
my opening will be like, okay, I need to switch something like this, and then you're gonna hit me, right?
Is there any openings when you're sitting like that down there?
You'll allow patience them eventually.
Patience will move them.
Okay.
You can try. This back leg is often an opening. It's the only time that I'll tell someone to circle this way. Is if that's their back leg is like this.
Viking.
If you can get that to the back leg. But it's not that hard for me to turn. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you need to go this way, and you have the footwork, and he can't because he's on his legs. Okay?
Okay.
But you have the range. You should never ever let him get into your range. You got someone on their legs now, it should be over. You should be able to win this, no problem. Whether it takes 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever, you can win that. Because if you start to get impatient and start to try and push into openings, that's what he wants. And sitting, a sort of board person on the ground, sitting there, it's not uncomfortable unless you're smacking. And he's got a shield, so he's got to take those hits, right? So, all right, so this will probably be the most common thing you see in Amtgard. Maybe not at our park, but in general, when you go very far places, you'll see this, all right? So now that I don't have this area to swing, this thing to swing, there's like a few more select ways to do it. And like I said before, there's the one I was telling you, the wrap, and the wrap here. You can wrap, like wraps will open up areas that you don't realize. Just be more patient. That's sword and board versus sword and board, right? You both have amazing defense, same thing. But on the other hand, if you're sword foot forward and he's shield foot forward, the same thing, like I said, this shot will open. He doesn't have anywhere to kill you if you swipe that leg, all right? And all of a sudden he's on his legs and you have full range of movement. And that's when you can be faster and you can get him annoyed, just like on the collar. You can go around. I'm going to blow my legs because I have knee pads. This. See what I mean? He has foot range. He can just circle me all day until I make a mistake where this leg doesn't.
Are your knees hurt?
On this?
No, if you just circle them, the knees will hurt eventually.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if they have good pads, it won't. Right now, I mean, this feels like nothing. I can do this all day. But eventually, what you might do is maybe lean forward here, and then that's when you can pop over and hit a wrap here, right? So if he keeps going this way, you might be able to fake this way, and then all of a sudden take a step here. Anything on the knees, you all of a sudden have more footwork ability than him, because he's on his knees, or her. So if you can take that easy leg for someone that does want to put their right foot forward and they're not baiting you, make sure they're not sitting there. If you notice someone doing this and their weight is on their back leg, chances are they're there to just bait you. They're like, okay, he's going to hit my leg. All my weight is here. This is a quick lift. And he might just go whack. All right? But if it's there, you see the even weight on both legs and the weight on the front leg, and take that leg, just give it a bit. Tournament fighting. Please don't do that just on a spar day. All right. So yeah, like I said before, you have your wraps, your opening shots for him, because on this way, that beat hit should work really well if you were to hit my sword. Right? Even if I hold it fairly tight, it's still there. All right. As long as he hits the top quarter of my sword, you should be able to get that. Now, if I were this way, I wouldn't suggest doing it because as soon as he does it, there's really not as much area, and it's easier for me to come and counter his arm. So, depending on his positioning, is what you want to see. See a sword and board fighting this way, or sword and board fighting this way. You got two different places to strike. Someone fighting this way, with their shield forward, is more susceptible to wraps on their shield side. So fighting against a sword and board, against another sword and board, by putting your board side forward, you're more susceptible to wraps. Because in going this way, most people won't wrap to this side. Right? Even if he's to go other foot forward, even if he's that way, I likely won't try this.
very often. All right, unless I move into it. Okay? But if he's this way, all of a sudden, these wraps, I have to step in big time for a wrap. All right, and that hip wrap is really difficult to do for someone that's this way. You really have to step in and down to get into it. But then this side opens up. Again, not a side that you're so worried about when you're fighting sword and board because they don't have striking on their left hand. If you have a Madu, it's a little bit different.